Okay, here's my try it. I multiplied that out. I got 12x to the 7th minus 9x to the 6th plus 6x to the 5th power. Okay. So that was just a warm-up. This is what we're really going to be doing today. Factor the greatest common factor out of an expression. So this is the opposite of the distributive property. And I already did it, but my computer crashed, so I'm going to try to reveal it as is appropriate here. So what's going to happen here is I need to look at, I want to factor this. I want to undistribute, do the opposite of the distributive property. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the numbers. And I have 9, 15, and 12, the coefficients. And, well, if I look at those, what goes into all of them? Well, 3 goes into all of them. Okay? So my greatest common factor for the coefficients is 3. And for the x's, if I'm going to undistribute, remember I add exponents. So I just need to take the smallest because that will restrict me the most because I'm adding. So out of 6, 4, and 2, the smallest is 2. Maybe that'll make a little more sense as we do it. Beautiful. So 3x to the 2nd power, and then I'm going to undistribute the rest of this. If a problem just asks for the GCF, that's it. This is the GCF, the greatest common factor. Okay? So if a problem just asks for that, that's all you need to give, and move on. Okay? Be sure you're reading the instructions in your assignment. So now I need to think about, well, what would I distribute this over to give me this answer up top? Well, 3x squared times what will give me 9x to the 6th? Well, 3 times 3 is 9, and 2 plus 4 is 6. So this should be 3x to the 4th there. And it is. Yay, I did it. Okay? And then moving along, 3x squared times what will give me this? Well, 3 times 5 gives me 15. And 2 plus 2 gives me 4. So that should be 5x squared. Beautiful. And then finally, 3 times what gives me 12? 3 times 4 gives me 12. And I don't need an x there. I have x to the 2nd power. I need 0 more to get x to the 2nd power, so I can leave that alone. So the greatest common factor, I'm undistributing. I'm doing the opposite of the distributive property. Okay, I'm going to do one more with you. This next one here. And one thing that happens is that you don't necessarily have to do this, but if all the terms are negative, you can factor out a negative. And again, I can't really say that you have to do this. This is optional, but it just gives it a much cleaner look if you do so. So I have 6, 18, and 12, and the greatest thing that goes into all those is 6. And I'm going to make it negative because all the numbers are negative, so if I factor that out, everything inside will be positive, and that'll look cool. Okay, let me see. The exponents 4, 3, and 2, 2 is the smallest, so I will take that. Okay, now I'm going to see what I would need to multiply by. Negative 6x squared times what will give me negative 6x to the 4th? Well, I just need x squared there. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. I don't need to manipulate that. Then 2 plus 2 gives me 4. Beautiful. Let me see. Negative 6 times 3 gives me 18. And 2 plus 1 gives me 3. Very nice. And then negative 6 times 2 gives me negative 12. And x squared will just drag along. There's nothing additional I need there. Okay, so I factored the GCF out. So here's my answer. Negative 6x squared times that stuff in parentheses. This is the opposite of the distributive property. Go ahead and try to factor the GCF out of this.